Hey everybody, my name is Megan Poss, and I'm going to be doing my speech on the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King Jr. The main purpose of this speech was to talk about segregation and how Martin Luther King Jr. wanted it to be put to an end. One reason why I think that this was such a great speech was because that he didn't use hatred, even though all the hatred that the African Americans had to put up with at this point in time in America. He talked positively about the whole situation, and I think that was good for him to do to make white people realize that it didn't have to be the way that it was. He incorporated patriotic and religious quotes in his speech. He used the Declaration of Independence, the Emancipation Proclamation. He used the song America. He also used references from the Bible. Another thing that made me surprised about the speech was he memorized it. He took the time to memorize the speech and didn't have to, it made people realize that he was really serious about his speech. Specifically, the speech was towards whites, even though he did address it to the whole country. Whites were the people who were discriminating African Americans. He wanted to put an end to discrimination and give African Americans the equality that they deserved. He used ethos by using the Emancipation Proclamation and delivering his speech on the Lincoln Memorial. Those were both great things that America had happened to them. He used pathos. He used a quote from the Bible, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all the flesh should see it together. That showed that he believed in God, just like white people do. There's no difference in between any of them. He also used logos. Americans have given Negroes a bad check. Everybody knows what a bad check is, and that's really what they got. They got the crappy end of the deal in America. He also used emotion as a father. He said that he wanted more for his children. And really, everybody wants better for their children. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, purple, green. That's what you want, is you want better for your children. So here is what I memorized from his speech. 5 years ago today, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree signed as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who seared in the flames of withering injustice. It was a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the Negro is still crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of this moment. The sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end but a beginning. Those who hope that the whites just needed to blow off steam and will be okay will have a rude awakening when the country continues a business as normal. As we walk, we must make a pledge to always walk forward. We cannot turn back. Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, and go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that the situation can and will change. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. I have a dream that is deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, and all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day, on the red hills of Georgia, former slave sons and the slave owners' sons will join together and sit at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they can be judged by not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today, and this is our hope. Thank you guys for listening to my speech.